I have a Discord server, by the way. I post sneak peeks on new videos and whatnot. Feel free to join if you'd like. Thanks. How is it going, my fellas? Today, I had an idea. There's 60 legends in Brawlhalla right now. Sorry, 7, you don't exist. A whole lot of them, right? So, what if we cut that roster in half? Which legends would stay? Which legends wouldn't stay? That's the entire premise of this video. We're going through all the Brawlhalla legends and deciding which ones are safe and which ones get cut. I won't hold you too long at the intro, so enjoy the video. Alright, so we have 60 legends here to go through. There's a whole lot of them that I think are obvious picks, and there's a whole lot that are on the fence. So let's go through a whole lot of them right now, get all the obvious ones out. So first, there's Bodvar. He is the icon of Brawlhalla, of course, so he is without a doubt included. I think Orion is also included too. Orion and Artemis, in fact. I don't like Artemis, but Orion and Artemis is a very iconic duo in Brawlhalla, so of course we gotta include both of them. Out of the first 8 legends, obviously Bodvar is there already. I think the other one that would be a good addition would probably be Hattori. I see Hattori a whole lot thrown around in the Brawlhalla community, and also just in the game in general. Hattori is a very popular legend, so I think she should be included. I'm not sure if any of these other base game legends should be included. By base game, I mean the first 8. Queen Nai is like the one that I think would be closest, maybe Lord Vrax, but I'm on the fence about these 5. Scarlet, I'm not sure. Thatch, not sure. Ada, Sentinel. Right now, we're just getting all the obvious picks out. I think Taros is a very obvious pick. He is very popular. There's also Brynn, too. Going through this top row, I think Ember possibly could, but we'll come back to her as well. Same with Koji and Ulgrim. I think Diana, obviously. You can't play Brawlhalla without Diana. And, of course, if you have Diana, you gotta have Mordek. So, we already have 2 scythes. I'm going to try to limit the amount of weapons that are included as well, so it's not just going to be all the Gauntlet legends. So who else? Speaking of Gauntlet legends, if we are looking at those, out of these 4, I think out of Core, Wushang, Val, and Cross, I want to include just one of them. Personally, I think that title goes either to Val or Wushang. I think Val in terms of more creativity in keeping legends, but Wushang more in terms that he's a much more popular legend. He's much more iconic. But I think we'll choose one of them. We'll come back to them later. Nyx is also very iconic, but I don't want to include too many scythes. I already have different ideas for other scythe legends, so Nyx might be a pass. I'm going to get to her in a sec. That's what we're doing for a lot of them. We're going to get back to a whole lot. Yumiko, not sure. Caspian, not sure. We got to include some canon legends, of course. I'm throwing this out there right now. Zol, Magyar, and Thea. Those are all passes, first off, because they are the only legends that have 9 base stats on certain stats. Of course, Zol with attack, Magyar with defense, and Thea with speed. And also just because I think they're really iconic legends too. Thea's amazing, Magyar is amazing, and of course Zol is our boy. All of them are amazing. Who else do we got? If we're probably going to include at least one more cannon, at least one more greatsword, and at least one more boots. And going off of that, I think the greatsword should be Jaehyun. Jaehyun was the first greatsword. I think he's the most iconic greatsword. Everyone loves him, or you don't. The other cannon, I'm not entirely sure on that one, honestly. We could do any of the canon legends, but honestly, cannon as a weapon just isn't that popular. Sidra isn't that popular. Lin Fei really is not. Isaiah, maybe? We could do Isaiah. I was thinking either Isaiah or Onyx. I think Onyx might be a bit too much gauntlets. So, I say, let's go with Isaiah. Why not? Gotta get some canon representation. And of course with boots, a Tesca or Red Raptor. I feel like this one is really obvious. We're going with Tesca. You might hate Tesca, but I think he's much more iconic than Red Raptor, even though I like Red Raptor much better. If we're not including any more canon legends, we're not including any more greatsword, and we're not including any more battle boots, then that eliminates a lot of stuff right off the bat. So, Citra's out of here. We gotta get Lin Fei out of here. We got to get... Who else? Who would we gotta get out of here? We gotta get Onyx out of here. And then onto greatsword. We have to eliminate Mako and Arcadia, and then we eliminate boots as well. So these legends wouldn't make it so far. I like a lot of them, but I think if half the roster is getting cut, they wouldn't make it. If I could choose though, Arcadia and Lin Fei will 100% stay. But that's just my opinion. I'm trying to be inclusive of which legends I choose. I'm not just trying to be biased. I'm trying to look at it from a non-biased viewpoint. So with that being said, I think Fate stays 100%. Fate is the most popular legend in Brawlhalla, I'm pretty sure. Like from a lore perspective, she is very popular. She's very nice. So, I mean, why the hell not, right? If Fate's in there, I feel like I would say it would be funny if we included... Isaiah's already there. If we included Ada and Ulgrim too, that would form the entire band. But I'm not going to go off of that specifically. I'm going off lore. Not that much, though. And I think if we're including a crossover legend, which that gives us two options. There's Rayman or Ezio. If you're asking me which one's much more iconic, I feel like the answer is really, really obvious. Rayman is so much more iconic, and he's so much more powerful in game. But that's just from a balance viewpoint. But Rayman is so much more iconic. I know a lot of people do not like him, and I don't blame you, honestly. But over Ezio, I think a lot of people would play Rayman over Ezio. The weapon combo feels so much more clean. Even though Orb and Sword isn't too bad either, there's just not a lot of memorable things to say about Ezio. So, I'm sorry, buddy, but you gotta go in the bottom tier. So, why don't we continue? Let's knock off the rest of the Scythe Legends. I think Moonin would be a good one. I don't know if I want to include 5 Scythe Legends, though, and honestly, I think there are much better picks. Personally, I was going to go with Volkov and Loki. Loki, 100%. I'm going to go 100% with Loki. Loki is a badass legend. I didn't like whenever he came out, but just Loki as a legend, I love him. I like his SIGs. I like his skins. I like his lore. He's a maniac. Loki is a maniac, and that's why I love him. That leaves the question, what's the last Scythe legend we're going to include? It's going to be Mirage, Nyx, Jiro, or Volkov, or Moonin. Could be any of them. We already have Mordex and Artemis. Mordex, Artemis, Fate, and Loki, so I think one more is good. And I don't want to just keep all the legends that are like a part of actual like Valhalla lore, like, you know, Orion and Artemis, or Loki or Thor, etc. Which would be nice, but I don't want to be that biased towards those types of legends. So honestly, I'm gonna go with Volkov. I think he is much more interesting. He has much more interesting lore over Moonin. Even though he can be quite annoying to fight, obviously, I think he is a great addition to Brawlhalla. And honestly, he fits the title of Scythe really well by itself. So with that being said, I think that leaves us scratching off the rest of the Scythe Legends. Apologies to anyone who mains these legends. Of course, there is no hate towards these legends. They're all great legends. Well, did we forget a Scythe Legend? No, we got them all. Perfect. So, that leaves us... How many do we have? We have 5, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. So we have 18. We have 12 more legends to go. So who is going to be in our top 12? It's not going to be any of them. Could be any of these. I think a really good one to do would honestly be Petra. Petra's just a badass. Everyone plays Petra. Everyone likes Petra, I'm pretty sure. So honestly, I feel like that's a no-brainer pick for Petra. But that is another Gauntlets legend too, so we gotta keep track of how many Gauntlets we're doing. Right now, we already have 4. Which, let's get back to that. We were debating on these 4 Gauntlet legends. Zarya, I'm sorry, buddy, but you gotta go. No, if we're choosing a Gauntlets legend, it's not gonna be Zarya. But let's look at our options here. So, we have Mordex. He is the animal part. Rayman, he's the thingamajig, of course. Petra is a maniac. Teska, also high strength maniac. So if we're looking at it like this, we don't want too many high strength Gauntlet legends. So even though Cross is very iconic, I will unfortunately have to cross him off. Now, we could do one of these 3. I'm very torn on who to do. I love Core. Everybody loves Core. Which is why I really want to have Core included. But I also want to have Val included as well, because a lot of people like Val too. I think Val is adorable too. I'll be honest. I'm going to make this choice very carefully. I'm going to have to go with Core. I think Core... look, Val is cute, but Core is even cuter. What can I say? Alright, so if we're going through... We got a whole lot of these legends. There's a lot of really underrated picks here. And of course, I'm not going to include all the underrated picks. I'm not going to include all the most popular picks. I'm going to try to include a balance of both. I think right now we have 20. We have 20 different legends here. And I already see one that would be a pretty good pick. Personally, Kaya, obviously. Kaya is a very popular legend. I actually don't know if she was before or after Zol. I think the first two canon legends were Sidra and Zol. I think it was right there. It doesn't matter. The order doesn't matter at all. I'm just trying to keep it in line. But Kaya is a very iconic legend. Bow and spear. I just did a Kaya analysis on her. She is very popular for a reason. She used to not be very popular, which is interesting, but now she is. So, I mean, why the hell not? She's also in a lot of cinematics too. BMG really likes to use Kaya in those too, which isn't bad. I do like Kaya. She's a fun legend. So that leaves 9 more to go. I don't believe we're including any more Gauntlet legends, so I think that's good to cross off right now. So, sorry Wushang. Sorry Val. Sorry Caspian. Honestly, not sorry Caspian. Who else? Who else? I think that was all of them, actually. Right now, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That is 5 Gauntlet legends. If we're looking at a lot of the other weapons here, we could probably start off with Orb, because I feel like Orb is probably the easiest one to go with right now. So right now, we have only 2 Orb legends. I think at least 1 more could be included, maybe 2 more. And out of those, I don't think Reno would be one of them. I do like Reno quite a lot, but he is such an underplayed pick, it honestly hurts. I do love him, and I wish people played him a bit more, but maybe not, because he has blasters, and I hate blasters. You know me. So, maybe not Reno. He was before Arcadia, I believe. And honestly, Dusk and Thor are very iconic legends too. Dusk is very, very underrated, but he was the first Orb legend, obviously. And honestly, both Dusk and Thor are very underrated. But if I had to choose one, it would probably be... Let's think about it. We don't want too many Spear legends, obviously. We already have 5, I believe. We have 5 Spear legends, although Spear was the one of the first weapons in the game. I don't want to include too many. We don't have a lot of hammers, and we're running out of hammer picks anyways. Well, actually, we have a lot of hammer picks left, but I think I want one of those hammer picks to be Thor. I think Thor is... Obviously, I was talking about the whole lore thing. I think Thor is much more iconic than some salty guy who lost to Ember in the Fangwild, I think. I need to catch up on my lore sometime. But regardless, I think that crosses Dusk off, unfortunately, even though Dusk is pretty cool too. So that's 3 Orb legends. Now, we already got Cannon out of the way. We already got Scythe out of the way. Why don't we go to Lance? I think there's not a lot of Lance legends. And honestly, I think we already have enough in this list right here. So I think there are 8 or 9 Lance legends. There is Orion, there's Vrax, there is Sir Roland, there is Scarlet, there is Olgrim, there is Artemis, there is Vector, and there's Thea. And I'm pretty sure that is 8. So, Vector, honestly a no-go. I do like Vector a lot, but he is the least iconic legend, personally. He is really cool, but you just never see him around. Olgrim, I know a lot of people play Olgrim, but I really don't know if he's someone I want to include. To be fair, though, he is really present in Brawlhalla lore. Him and Scarlet got some fight going on. He also made battle boots, apparently. Something along those lines. He was the one who presented them at BCX 2022, which was very exciting. He has a canonical voice, I guess, so honestly, I think that makes him important enough. I don't want to include him, but honestly, I think I have to. Even though that's a lot of Lance legends. We have 4 Lance legends, but Lance is a base game weapon, so you honestly can't complain. But with that being said, I think that scratches off the rest of our Lance picks. So sorry Volkov, I'm sorry Sir Roland, and I am sorry Scarlet. It just had to happen. Alright, I think we should continue with Bow next, because out of this entire list, there are only 2 Bow legends. You can probably see who they are, Diana and Kaya, of course. I think we could include 1 or 2 more Bow legends. And I think in including 1 or 2 more Bow legends, we're including so much other weapons as well. So, our options range from Ember, Azoth, and Koji, and also Yumiko. I almost forgot about Yumiko. Let me move her up there. These are our last 4 options for Bow legends. We already scrapped off Zariel, Vector, and Munin. And then we already kept Diana and Kaya, so that's 5. Are there only 9 Bow legends in the game? I think I had to have skipped somebody over, I think. That leaves us with who we're going to add to this list. I think another weapon you should probably take a look at is Katars, because holy crap, I did not include a single Katars legend besides Loki. Katars is a base game weapon. I want to include more Katars. So, with that being said, I think Ember is a very iconic pick. She also did take down Dusk, obviously. She is a part of the Feywild. Feywild is a big part of the lore. I think she is a great pick. So who else? I think Koji could also be a pretty good pick because, first off, Koji's got lore with Hattori, obviously. But also, Yumiko has Feywild lore too, and I like Feywild lore. So, what's the option going to be? We already have a lot of female bow legends here. That's 3 already. So, personally, I say let's go with Koji. Why the hell not, right? So, that leaves us at 25. We have 5 more legends to pick. We only have 2 Katara legends. I think we have a good amount to choose from here, actually. We have Queen Nai, we have Sentinel, we have Lucian, Asuri, and Ragnar. Let's think about it. If we are including... We didn't include Feywild representation with Yumiko, which I apologize, Yumiko. But if we are choosing a... Let's think about this. If we are choosing a Katara's legend, we already scrapped off Yumiko. I don't want to scrap off too many Feywild representation because out of this entire list, there is no Feywild representation besides Ember. I think Ragnar would be a very nice pick for that representation. Not only that, but also maybe a bit more axe. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's a lot of axe. That would be a whole lot of axe legends. Maybe we could take off Rayman, personally. Potentially, but we'll come back to that. I think Ragnar is a perfect pick, so that's 6 axe legends. I feel like there's just a lot of iconic axe legends I've discovered. So we are at 4 more legends. I think we have 3 Katara legends. I really don't know if we want to include another Katara's legend. I do love Queen Eye, but that's a lot of spear as well. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 spear legends. If we include another spear, then I think that means we have to keep the 6 axe. Because that would be 6 spears, 6 axe. I say let's pass on Queen Eye for now. We're passing on Nash as well. Let's be honest, Nash was a pass from the beginning. Probably Cassidy too. Maybe Thatch. Potentially. We didn't really get to Sword and Blasters yet. Looking at the rest of the Katara legends, Sentinel is not that iconic. Lucian is also not that iconic. Maybe he is like in pro play. But as a legend, I feel like Lucian is kind of boring. Just my opinion though. And we could also probably scratch off the rest of the Axe Legends too, because these 3 I don't find too iconic. Even though the new Legend 7 has some lore stuff going on for Raza, which is very cool. I'm very glad they expanded on that category. I unfortunately have to scratch Barraza here. I don't even remember what the order I'm going in is anymore. Same with Azoth, same with Jala. I do like Azoth in the lore quite a lot. He is a cute cat, but we have to cut him, unfortunately. So, we still have 4 more slots, so we kind of get some freebie picks here, I think, which is not bad. We just have to pick and choose very carefully. So, Thatch and Ada, maybe not Ada. If Val wasn't in, I don't think Ada will be in personally, so sorry, Ada. But Thatch, on the other hand, listen, Thatch is not a legend people like. Obviously, people hate his down 6 spam. But I think, personally, why the hell not, right? I think we need some type of representation from that side of the lore. Thatch's lore, of course. The only part of Thatch's lore he has is like with... I actually don't remember entirely. I don't read up on lore. All I remember is Mako. And Mako we already crossed off. I think Thatch would be a very nice addition. He also brings up the sword counter to 1, 2, 3, 4... 5. So 5 is a very nice number, actually, for a sword. What about blasters? We have 1, 2, 3... We only have 3 blaster legends. What the hell? Alright, so we have 3 more picks to do. I think we need a bit more of the older legends. I picked a lot of the newer legends, I realized. I think one of those good picks would probably be Scarlet. I feel like Scarlet is much more iconic than a lot of these older legends, personally. Maybe Queen Eye. If we really want to include Queen Eye, I will. I'll have to go over a lot of the legends here and see what I really think. But that would bring up our Lance counter to 4. No, I bring it up to 5, actually. Although Lance is a base game weapon, so would that really be that bad? What about Hammer? We're also bringing the Hammer counter up to 1, 2, 3, 4, which isn't that bad. We're bringing Lance and Hammer up 5. Honestly, not that bad. I think that's fine by me, actually. So that leaves 2 more slots. Who are we going to include in these 2 slots? We could include a legend like Moonin for being related to specific parts of mythology. Of course, Moonin Hugin. Or we could choose another legend that's a part of other lore, or just someone who's more goofy, like Caspian, for example. It's a very tough pick. I think we have to make a 3rd tier. This one is for legends that I'm positive won't make it here. Just so I can get them in a specific order, I think Red Raptor, no. We can cross a lot of these off, personally. Arcadia would be more Fangwild representation, which would be fine by me, but not entirely sure. Honestly, we might include one of these 3 Gauntlet legends, but I would have to see who we include. Maybe a Scythe legend too. It honestly might just have to be Nyx. Let's see. Alright, I think I know what kind of list I want to go off of. There really aren't a lot of blaster picks here, I realize, so I think... You know what? We have a good idea. These are going to be our final fighters for the last 2 slots in our half-cut Brawlhalla roster. So, we have 28, and I think I want 1 more Gauntlet legend, I want 1 more Scythe legend. And I want to include a bit more Blasters representation. There is only Thatch, there is only Diana, and there is only Isaiah. Those are the only 3 that I included. And personally, Nyx is a very iconic legend in terms of popularity. She looks badass. What can I say? So, Nyx is going to be our second to last legend, which scratches off Moonin and Mirage, to be honest. Let's include 1 more Gauntlets legend. We have 5 Gauntlet legends. Let's take a look at what those legends are. We have Core, he's a cutie. Mordex, he's a wolf. Rayman's thingamajig. Petra is a brutal bastard. And Teska is also a brutal bastard. So, we already mentioned that earlier, and we already decided that Cross, I think, is off the table. So, it's either do we want the Calm Monk? I don't even know if Wushang is calm or not, but do we want the Monk? Or do we want the Robot? We do not have any Robot representation in this roster. And I think this kind of vibe from a legend, personally, I think already comes from legends like Bodvar or Thatch or Koji Olgrim or Volkov even, Thor. Just those, it comes from those legends enough where I think it's safe to say we should probably include Val. And also I don't want to include too many spear legends, obviously. How many sword legends do we have? That's the question. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, exactly. Perfect. 6 is a very solid number for the spear legends, I think. So, with that being said, let's get that out of here, Will. Perfect. So, with that being said, this is our half-cut roster. I didn't want to include it with 7, obviously, just because that makes it uneven. And honestly, who wants an uneven video, am I right? So, is this a roster that includes a whole lot of diversity? Personally, I think yes. You have Bodvar, obviously, is just the main icon. Orion and Artemis from mythology. Hattori, Scarlet is... there's a lot of ippy ones I have. I was choosing the legends that I thought BMG was very fond of, like, obviously Scarlet and Olgrim. But there are a lot of much more iconic ones in this list, like Brynn, Diana, there's obviously Mordex, Kaya, Fate, Jaehyun, a whole lot of good stuff here. And of course the one crossover legend, Rayman. We all love Rayman. So, do you agree with this list or not? If you have any disagreements with it, or you just want to voice your opinions on it, feel free to leave a comment. And if you like the video, feel free to subscribe. It's free, and you can always unsubscribe at any time. And with that being said, I appreciate you watching, and until next time, always remember to keep on brawling.